Well, hello out there. How's everybody doing? Everybody's favorite conservative in New York, Christopher Wright. Yeah, here is with my sit back and chats, Christopher Wright show. Long time no speak. Hey, everybody doing? Just want to, get in touch with you guys. As you guys know, it's everything that's been going on with me lately. You guys know I've recently, ran for office, was out getting petitions and get signatures to get on the ballot. The whole situation that went on with that, where unfortunately, because I haven't been living in Queens for a period of time, I'm going to have to run again in the next upcoming election. But no big deal. I'm back with the CRA, back with the podcast. Got big plans for the upcoming year. So, I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about coming to this podcast. One of the first things I want to speak on, as you guys know, there's a lot going on, man, with the mass shooting that recently happened, unfortunately, in Uvalde, Texas. You got a lot of young people were passed away. 18 students were shot and killed in a mass shooting. And the individual who did it was, sick individual, sick in the head, individual with cross-dressing, transgender, all that stuff, whatever, had problems. But, we know the situation with that. The media kind of swept that under the rug, the information with the mental issue, and wanted to focus on, he was using an AR-15 and, gun control. We got to ban guns. And we just flipped it immediately to a gun issue. And this is my problem with that. It's not a coincidence, guys. Not a coincidence. Sleepy Joe is in office. Sleepy Joe Biden, former vice president of Barack Hussein Obama. Don't get started on Barack Hussein. But now all of a sudden he's in office. And now we got mass shootings going on again. All of a sudden, out of nowhere. What a coincidence. We haven't seen this in 4 years of Trump. Very little, issues like this we heard of. Things happen. Unfortunately, you got foolish people who do dumb things, and it just happens. It's just unfortunately life. You see it happen. But when Trump was in office, you saw it from compared to Obama's 8 years to 4 years with Trump, a huge slowdown with the process. And then you see Biden's back, and now he's in office with the stolen election, all that stuff. Now you see the mass shootings are happening, they're occurring again, and they're going after guns again. And they're thinking, if we go after guns, it's going to fix all the problems. Let's be honest here, people. If you look at the history, in American history, the reason that America has a constitution, the reason America is still the way it is now, a free country, is because we were allowed to use, the American citizens were used military-grade guns to protect themselves. It is what it is. American citizens, we are a country built on having weapons to defend ourselves, to protect ourselves, to do it properly, to use it with safety, not to just run around shooting and acting a fool. But, we are a country that has guns. We defended our rights with weapons. It's a common thing, So, there's a couple clips I want to play for you guys, kind of get you guys, 2 cents on a few things. Let me go over here. The first one is just, the whole thing with the gun issue I'm talking about earlier. Let's talk about the people on the left that want to take the guns. These people are the ones coming out here with the, having these rallies and, marching and, storming, rioting, looting, whatever they want to do. It's not go there, but on behalf of gun control and gun safety. But let's talk about if we do decide to give up our guns, let's say worst case scenario, we give up our guns. These are the kind of people we're going to be giving our guns up to. And people, please forget the language. I'm sorry, I'm playing clips. A lot of them are going to be clips from people on the left. What happened? Trump's not in office. Unfortunately, they stole election. So we got Sleepy Joe in here. So I got to play a lot of clips of what's going on with the left. So there's going to be a lot of cursing. You guys don't curse in my videos. I give God all the glory, everything that I do. So people know I don't personally curse, but I do play video clips of what's going on out there to the public. And unfortunately, there's these, idiots who don't believe in God or whatever. That's, a whole conversation for another day. But because of that, we get, the cuss words. So there's a few cuss words in here, just giving people a heads up. But here's the first clip I want to play for you guys. And please leave your comments and give your 2 cents on it.
Piece of shit! Piece of shit! You're not broken! Fuck you! Fuck your guns! Fuck your guns! Murderers! Blood on your hands! Are you proud of yourself? Tell me, where is your gun now? In your children! Fucking murderers! Oh, thumbs up! Thumbs up! Kids not! I'm gonna go fucking...
Yeah. Okay. So you guys get the hint here. These are the people that are demanding our guns. These are the people that say, just hand over the guns and everything's going to be safe. Everything's going to be okay. when in terms of history, of world history, of great nations that led themselves, where when the people weren't able to protect themselves properly, were they able to still lead as a nation? It's never happened in history. It doesn't happen in world history. And the left wants to make it seem like they're the ones who are, like kumbaya, and everybody's come together and put the guns down, and the criminals will just understand that, there's no longer guns being used, and they're just going to put the guns down. I live in New York right now, guys. You guys know I've been in Brooklyn, I've been in Queens, I've been all over the New York area. Crime is at a all-time high here in New York. Please, guys, keep me in your prayers. It's getting real out here. Places that I lived that were once pretty safe places, no longer safe. New York is turning back to the old New York. You hear probably stories online about New York, and they say it's like the new people that lived in New York who were here during the crime wave in the 70s and the 80s, when Manhattan was not somewhere you can live. Manhattan's like Disney World, a couple of years ago. But I'm talking about in the 70s and 80s, it was, pimps and prostitutes and drugs and guns and murder, all kinds of stuff in Manhattan. I didn't even know about that until I moved here. I've been here for 10 years. When I first moved to New York, I didn't know Manhattan was what I heard from people that lived in New York who had to educate me on how New York was. And I'm telling you right now, that New York, and when there's people who live here are telling me that they're seeing that New York starting to show up again. I hear news reports, not from, of course, fake news, mainstream media, but people in alternative news sources that I type into that I'm very familiar with, some or even local in the area, are even saying that this is the New York that they've seen in the past, in the 70s and the 80s. That New York is starting to show its rear its head again. The New York of crime, the New York that Mayor Giuliani had to come in here and clean up. Rudy Giuliani had to come and clean up. And he did a lot of work in New York. Trump had to build that skating rink in Manhattan. That was, business was slow in New York. Once he built that skating rink, they got business started. That's when a lot of business started flowing in New York City. So Trump got his hand in helping New York become the New York City that we're all accustomed to now, that I lived here and got used to in the last 10 years. But now that crime's starting to come up again, now that Joe Biden's in office and we're seeing Obama 2.0, we're seeing the old Bed-Stuy come back, the old Brooklyn, the old Queens, the old Manhattan people. Go to Manhattan right now. For one, it's like a ghost town. Anybody lives been in New York who knows New York City area, Manhattan, it's like Disney World. You got people all over the place. You got tourists from all around the world there taking pictures, taking photos, but now a ghost town. You go there, you walk around. Anybody knows New York City knows it's not the Manhattan that they got accustomed to living in New York City. Whole different area now. That's New York now. And you go to like banks, you see homeless people sleeping in the bank areas where ATM machines are. You got people with mental issues on the train stations. You got women who are afraid to go through the turnstiles with their Metro cards to get on the train or the bus because there's somebody with a mental issue on the train yelling and screaming. And I'm not even here point fingers, say, oh, somebody with a mental issue, well, it's all their fault. No, it's not even their fault. It's the insane asylums that were here, the mental institutions, the proper terminology, I'm sorry, that were here in New York at one time have been shut down. So people with the mental issues are now on the streets and with nowhere to go. So they have nowhere to go. The citizens have nowhere to go. Crime has gotten crazy. You hear in the local news all the time in New York of people getting pushed on trains, women getting attacked, raped. You hear children getting kidnapped, elderly people getting attacked. It's insane what's going on in New York, and it's happening very often. And people aren't talking about it. The news isn't covering it. And this is insane what's happening. And a lot of it has to do with who's governing, who's leading. We got Eric Adams as our mayor, who is more focused on being a celebrity than governing in New York. And we just got done with de Blasio. So we all know what happened with him, communist mayor. So, this is what we're dealing with right now in New York. This is what's going on around the country right now. It's affecting a lot of people. And, you guys know what's going on here. We have Shirley Edward, send them to Afghanistan, take away our guns. Yeah, well, you already know what's going on in Afghanistan. Afghanistan has plenty of our guns, as you know, after Joe Biden's governing, that was going on there. But, guys, there's a lot going on. But let me play you guys some more of the content I have here. This is some more videos. And these are videos I just got from people that are like on the left that are like these anti-gun events I've been seeing. This not a particular area or location. As you guys know, with the left is anywhere there's a city, they're going to have these radical leftist protesters that are going to be anti, gun, pro-abortion, yada yada yada, the same old. But I just want to show you clips so you guys get an idea. These are the people who want to demand the guns, you know. And this beta male here, let's check this out.
Enough is enough! Enough is enough! Enough is enough! Enough is enough!
Wow. So this guy's shaking while he's holding a sign, you know, demanding that he has a gun. What if they take our guns away? Who is going to protect this country if we have no guns? If we are we gonna have these guys like this that are demanding we get rid of our guns, and then the guns are gone, and then the guys who are tough, you know, men who are not these radical leftist who have the guns, who gave them away, we got to depend on these guys to defend us, to protect America. Come on, it's not going to happen. It's not realistic. It's just liberal utopia, I call it. You know, they got the little la la land they live in, and it's not being realistic. We got to be honest. We got to be real. We're living in a time right now where we have to defend ourselves. If you guys haven't noticed, we don't have real leadership right now. We have a guy who could barely complete a sentence, who's president of the United States. I mean, and we got a vice president who all she does is cackle. Like, I have yet to see anything Kamala has done that shows any kind of progression in any kind of way. I mean, but you know, I can't blame her. I mean, it's not like the president has done anything to kind of lead, but you know, this is what we're dealing with right now. And we also had a situation right now where, you know, with Judge Kavanaugh, they had protesters out there who were anti-abortion protesters, pro-abortion protesters protesting Kavanaugh. And I'm like, why are we even talking about Judge Kavanaugh right now in a protesting kind of manner? I thought we were past that. So this is what's going on right now in politics. Is we have the Democratic Party in full control, and because of that, we're going full circle. We're going so far left, we've gone in the circle, and we're talking about the same things over and over again. We're talking about nothing with substance. We are like spoiled brats politically, where we are finding issues that aren't there, and we're making a problem out of them, and there's nothing there. And this is what we're doing right now. We got real issues going on in the world, going around the country, going around right here, where we have, you know, babies that can't even get baby formula at grocery stores right now. That's really happening right now. I mean, I go to grocery stores here in New York, and there's food not on different carts and trays and shelves. It's empty, and I never seen New York like this. I never seen America like this. And it's like, if you would have told me 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, that we'll be in a country where I'll be in New York and I'll see empty shelter grocery stores, I would have thought you were insane. I would have said it's impossible, but of course I wouldn't have seen them still in election and putting in, you know, mandates over a whole fake pandemic. But you know, this is where we're at right now. This is what we're dealing with right now, and it's okay because, like I said, there's different movements going on right now in the country. You know, there's people that are doing the medical freedom rally movements. I got respect for what they're doing, much respect for them. You know, there's people who are America First candidates who are running for office. I think this is going to be the biggest red wave we're going to see in a long time when it comes to politically, and you know, 2022. And I feel in 2024 we're going to have Trump running again for re-election. And you know, worst case scenario, if not, we still have a strong conservative movement coming up in the Republican Party that's going to usher things in. But I do have a good feeling Trump's going to be running 2024, and I have a good feeling I'll be running as well. So that's the thing: is we state Senate, is it going to be for Congress, whatever it may be? You had me in there because I'm not a person who just sits and wants to play victim. I love this country. I know America. You can put your mind to it. You can get anything accomplished. You have the freedom. You have the rights to do whatever you need to do, and that's why I decided to run. That's when I'm going to get involved as well. So we're going to bring change to this country, you know, one way or another. But unfortunately, right now we're going through a guy in office who can barely speak. But let me show you guys the whole issue with the Kavanaugh situation that happened in front of his house. They had protesters in front of his house that were, you know, far leftists, you know, for pro-abortion. And I'm like, okay, we know where Kavanaugh stands is when it comes to abortion. And I know you guys had an issue with it. That's when he was going to get elected. You know, they were protesting then. But once we got past it, they moved on to, you know, whatever new leftist thing they were talking about. But now they're going back to this again. So I guess they got too much time on their hands. They got to kind of just run in circles. But this is what happened in front of Kavanaugh's location. Okay, so there you have it. They're more cussing, just being degrading and nasty and whatever. But I guess that's current feminism. I guess third wave feminism. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I do. I did understand history of feminism. I mean, first wave. Women. Getting into the workforce. Getting out of the kitchen. Not just being into one or two roles in life, but being to have the option, the choice to make different options, for themselves, for their families. I get it. But what we're dealing with now, I totally understand. But the fact that we even bring this up right now, I think just because of elections, we got time on our hands, and Democrats are just trying to find something to complain about, something to play victim about. Monkeypox fell through the floor. They try to do the whole monkeypox thing, and monkeypox is back and it's causing issues. And as soon as I, saw that whole situation, I knew I didn't even pay attention to it. As you guys know, you guys follow me. You guys know I do my content. I didn't even touch that with a 20-foot pole because I knew in a heartbeat that I was going to sweep on a rug. We got vaccine shots for monkeypox. That's the reason why. I mean, I thought we were past that decades ago, and they just trying to, I don't know, bring it back in terms, I don't know, for the mail-in ballot purposes. I'm assuming. I can't really, find no other reason why they would bring something like that up. But, that's just so much going on in this country right now in a negative way. It's getting hard for people like myself. I create content. I talk politics. And, when it was positive, I'm positive, negative. I want to get the news out there to people. But under Trump's, when he was in office, it was a lot of good things happening in the country. The country was growing. There was a lot of, just positivity going on. You had your, mainstream media pushing a false narrative, and you had people believing a false narrative. We had that situation. But even that time was going by, people were starting to wake up and see the bigger picture. But of course, they stole election, and now they got a situation where we're at now, where we're getting these issues that are constantly happening in the country. And it's not much to talk positive about. Like, I report the news. I want to get the truth out there the best way I can. But to be honest with you, there's nothing really to report that's going to be. I can't talk about a job market. I can't talk about economic growth. I can't talk about positive GDP. There is nothing to talk about that's really positive. I mean, in terms of people running on a local level, yes, there's positive things. Like Andrew Giuliani, who's running for governor here in New York. I'm supporting him. Just recently came out, son of Rudy Giuliani, real patriot. Really, I'm backing him. So there's a lot positivity going on a local level when it comes to politics, like I mentioned earlier. But until that ushers in, and hopefully if that ushers in strong enough, we can maybe even put an asterisk on that Joe Biden presidency with an impeachment. Time will tell. But right now, that's the only positivity I really see happening is on a political level, because right now with Joe Biden leading anything, I mean, he can't even lead. We know who's really leading, and that's Obama, the shadow pillars, as I call him. We all know he's leading behind closed doors. That's who really run the show. Susan Rice, the whole, Michelle, the whole little crew, the clique is really who's running this country right now. And it's showing. That's why you got the mass shootings. That's why we got the foreign policies. It's just jacked up. And, how we handle Afghanistan, perfect example. And the fact that we're not even talking about that we just like moved on from that like it's nothing. Like that was just disgraceful. But guess who didn't move on? The rest of the world, they didn't move on. They saw what happened in Afghanistan and how we carried ourselves, and they're not going to forget. And that's something that doesn't get swept under the rug. And that's how foreign policy works. But of course, we got Joe Biden leading office. Unfortunately, it's going to not turn out that way. But there's another situation I want to speak on, and you guys mentioned the headline, and that's the border crisis right now. There's something that, with Joe Biden leading, that's another thing that's not getting touched with 10-foot pole by his administration, and that's what's going on in Arizona and Texas with the border. It's a big issue going on now. People coming from, of course, Mexico and, the West, all over the world, they're coming. Like I'm in with Venezuela, Colombia. The list goes on and on and on. There's places that I'm even shocked that people are coming from the escape over here right now, because people know, like I said, they know the country is weak in a lot of different ways right now, and they are making their moves in any way they can to take control of the situation. And there's a couple of videos I want to play for you guys to kind of let you guys see what's going on. There's one right now there's of a group that Jorge, I'm sorry, bad with names, guys. I'm going to put the link for you guys to check out the news station. Really good news station. This is where I get some alternative news from. I recommend checking out their content. They go where it's at, what's really going on. Of course, the CNNs and MSNBCs and even the Fox Newses aren't going to go to cover information and get out there to the public. So there's a gentleman that was at the border here in Arizona, and he here in Arizona, but it's down in Arizona, and he covered some migrants illegally coming across the border. So this is what he captured. So check it out.
Nicaragua. Saludos desde Nicaragua. Nicaragua.
And we have hundreds of migrants just running in the United States, where they're already on American soil here, and they're running in here. I apologize, guys. We have a lot of dust now kicking up, but hundreds, and there's even more over there. We've now seen, in the past couple hours alone, 600 to 700 migrants cross into the United States illegally just here in Yuma. And all the dust is keep kicking up because they're all running in here. And there's more. There's a lot more. There's much more. I could just keep this video rolling.
Una mejor calidad de vida. Gracias.
A lot of thumbs up, a lot of smiling. This is remarkable. What part of Russia? So those 3 women are from Russia. Russia? Russian?
No Russian.
No. Where are you from?
I'm from Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan? So Eastern Europeans and some Russians.
All right, so you get the gist of it right there. That's what's going on at the border right now. Did you not see that? It's insane what's going on right now. And did you see the last few people come in there from Russia? And what have we been hearing for the past 5 years about Russia? Russia, like Marsha Brady, Russia. This is what's going on right now. And that's going right at the border. If they're so worried about an invasion for Russia, we're having technically an invasion. Like I said, that's got Tomcat, New Jersey here. That's an invasion, he said. Yeah, I agree. It is. It's an invasion. That's what's going on at the border and not being reported on by the news, not being covered. That's why I'm here to cover it. And people like me. I'm not the only one. That gentleman there, like I said, I'm gonna get you the link from this guy. Like, I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. Like, I'm finding these people like as I'm going along too. Some of these people I'm pretty new to, but they are out there grinding right now, getting information out there because the mainstream media is not even talking about this right now. And they might be talking about it in like a brush kind of way. They might brush over it and kind of mention, oh yeah, there's a border crisis, but you have to actually visually see this border crisis they're referring to. And then when you see with your own eyes, you see that this is not a game. This is very real here. Let me see. Let me take some of these comments out. We got Matthew Senard. He says the Russian fugitive refugees infiltrate. Yep. Yeah. This is Russian refugees. Yeah, definitely a crisis. Yeah. Okay. What else we got? Got Matthew again. Calling an invasion depends on the intentions. Good point. And but you look at, to me, I look at the refugee crisis that happened in Europe after Benghazi. And when you see the refugees that happen in Europe, you saw crime go all the way up. You saw rape go up in dramatic fashion because you had a third world country, North Africa, and Syrians going into Europe and just flipping it upside down. Remember, you had the Paris situation that happened in Paris where all those women got raped on New Year's, all that insanity that happened there. This is a real crisis. Like, that's why I don't want the same thing happening in my country. That's why when I was watching what was happening in Europe, I was watching everyday citizens in that country reporting the news. That's how I learned about alternative news was from Europeans. And then they had Brexit. And then when they were having Brexit, luckily we had Trump run at the same time. And we had our own kind of wave going on. And now it's just globalist takeover that's going on right now and affecting a lot. And it's a legal border crossing. Debbie Pate said a legal border crossing. Yes, Debbie, definitely is. Definitely a legal border crossing. And the people I found who were the most upset about the border crossing out of anybody are the legal citizens in this country. They're the ones who I speak to. Especially New York, there's a lot of people who came here legally, whose families came here legally, who worked hard to come here, generations, love America. When I speak to them, they are the most upset when it comes to seeing what's going on at the border, because they are like, I had to work hard. My family had to work hard for us to get our citizenship. And now these people are literally breaking the law and getting more rights than me and my family. And a lot of people I love and a lot of people I know. So it's very unfortunate. And this is what we're kind of currently dealing with this administration. And this is, going on at the border. There's one more I want to show you guys there at the border that's going on. Check out and give your thoughts on there. And then it's the same news network, and he's interviewing.
So guys, we're actually on the other side of the fence here, just to run and see where the route is. And if you guys see here, look at all the migrants that just climb up. I mean, they're just running in from Mexico in here. And this man here in the jersey, I mean, I don't know who he is, but it seems like he must be facilitating a lot of this. I mean, look at all this. And they just continue coming. We're up to almost 400, 500, and we're at 4 in the morning. Look at this, a massive amount of groups. We're meeting Indians, Persians. India? Look, India. Persians, Brazilians, Cubans, Venezuelans. Look at this. This is... And look, they're just climbing up and into the United States, walking right past the border wall. I've never seen anything like it. And they just keep coming. They're coming out of the brush. So right across from us is Los Algodones, and they're just coming out of the brush here. I mean, by the hundreds. I mean, we're already at 400 here, 500, and they just keep coming in. We just met a migrant from Georgia, so also Eastern European. I mean, look, we got the little girl over here coming. Here, Aubrey, look at this. Oh, señora, ¿dónde eres? Colombia. Colombia as well. ¿Dónde eres, señor? Colombia? Huh? Cuba. And they keep coming in. Look at this. It's non-stop here, and all the border patrol now has to focus on all these migrants that they're now apprehending here. So all the local resources are going to be focused directly on here, and the day just started here. We're around approaching 4:30 in the morning, so border patrol will be busy here all night, and we'll keep you updated here from Yuma, Arizona.
Yeah. So that's what's happening right now at the border, guys. This is crazy right now. This is what's going on, and they're not reporting it on the news. They're not covering it. Joe Biden is helping this occur. This is what we're dealing with. And there's somebody here made a good point. Layla mentioned Biden wants to replace us blacks with Hispanics from the border. Whoa, Layla. Shots fired. Just be honest here. It's being real here. The Democrats, to me, if you look at the history of the Democratic Party, they made moves like that. When they've losing a voter block to the Republican Party, they will make adjustments in a lot of times political or policy way where it might look like it's to benefit a group of people or a race of people, but it's really there to get votes. And they've done in the past many, many times. And I feel, I agree. I think that's what they're going to do with the border crisis. I'm not playing a race card or nothing foolish like that. I just know the Democratic Party's history and the history of the party, how they act. This is what they're known for doing. So, I definitely want to put it past them to do something like that. So let me see here. Let me see. We got some more comments here. Need to build some border cities on Mexican side so migrants can choose to remain in those transitory cities instead of being in regular situation in the U.S. That's where they could get a visa if eligible. And that was Matthew again. Yeah, very good point. So yeah, I agree. This is, there are other options, and I'm sorry guys, I'm adjusting my charger here. It's got my computer got lost a little charge here for some reason. All right. But yeah, so there's options out there that that we can give these individuals. Is like, but Joe Biden and the administration doesn't want to do that. They're looking at votes only. They're like, whatever it takes to get migrants over here to get votes, that's what we're going to do. And that's what their only focus is on. And that's going to cause issues because that's what crime increases. Living in New York, I'm seeing it firsthand. There's shootings that occurred nearby where I live. I'm not going to tell you exactly where I'm located, but yeah, there's people that know that are in New York area, and I tell them where I live. They talk about, oh, there was a shooting over there. I heard about that. Yeah, there's a gentleman. Yep, that was where I'm at. And I'm not doing that in a braggadocious way. I'm doing that in a realistic, this is what's happening. A lot of these individuals who are doing these shootings are illegal immigrants. They are a lot of these individuals who are doing this. But they're not reporting it because it doesn't fit the narrative. That's what it's all about when it comes to the left. It doesn't follow the narrative. So who cares? Why report on it? And that is the issue. That is the problem that is affecting so many Americans, that's affecting this country in such a bad way. And that's what we're dealing with. But hold on 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. Sorry. This computer's acting funny with this charge, but it's fine. Let me get here. I got some more clips I want to go over for you guys too. You see stabbings too. Yes, Yvonne. Hey, Yvonne, how you doing? I know Yvonne personally. Yeah, she said stabbings too. Yvonne knows the deal. Yvonne's here in New York. She knows what's going on here. The stabbings are, like I said, this is New York in the 80s and 70s. New York is known for people, carrying knives and knowing how to use knives and everything like that's in the past in New York, and it's happening. And the criminals are the ones with the control. The criminals are the ones with the power right now, and then this whole leftist way of believing in, gun control and, all of a sudden the kumbaya and everybody's going to be peaceful. Not going to happen. The criminals aren't dumb to the point where they know if they have rights, bail reform, they can commit a crime and be released the same day on bail reform. They're going to start committing crimes that day. Literally, when COVID, when they started doing the bail reform after COVID passed in Democratic ran cities like here in New York, I can tell you right now that first 2 weeks of bail reform, there was crime after crime after crime after crime. It was obvious the criminals knew about bail reform immediately. So that whole sham of bail reform and benefiting the citizens, that's a lie. I can tell you right now, living in New York, that's a dead lie. So, and Trump 2020, yep. This is population control. Yep, you know it. It's all globalism. That's what it's all, globalism behavior. And I got some more content I want to play for you guys. So the border, I said, I want to talk a little bit more about the border. The border, why I really want to speak on it is because Trump had it so well covered. You saw where they were thinking was where the wall ended. If Trump would have had a second administration, he would have finished the wall. So that area would have been covered. Trump had ICE doing amazing. I remember all the coverage we had for ICE and how they were protecting the border wall and arresting people coming over here illegally very often, vetting people, doing the vetting process, working on it very hard, doing an amazing job. And they were talking about how immigration here was at its best in decades under the Trump administration because he was focused on taking care of the border. And you saw the governor of Texas, everybody over there that were on the border were thanking Trump, who were Republicans who weren't brainwashed leftists trying to push the narrative. We're giving Trump the props that he deserved for protecting the border, as a president is supposed to do, is protect the border and protect American citizens. Beverly Armstrong, good evening, Christopher. Greetings from Barbados. Hey, shout out to Barbados. That's what I love about, putting content out there on the internet to all my patriots out there. There's patriots all around the world, not just in America, who love what we're doing here in this country, who are watching us, who are looking for us to lead the way right now. And it's a shame that we have Joe Biden in office, who is just a joke, a asterisk of a so-called president, who just puts a bad label on America and what we stand for, what we're about, and what we can get accomplished, what we're capable of. It's just so crazy that we had that. We were showing that ability so often just a couple years ago, and that quickly we're showing this much weakness. And it just shows you how amazing, globalist tactics can be when it comes to flipping things around. And, in order for, like somebody said, population control, one reason. And there's other reasons they want to push a narrative, spiritual reasons as well as biblical. It was written, that these days where good would be bad and bad would be good. Revelation spoke about these times, and that's one of the reasons why I'm fighting as well, not just for political and for my country, but for, my Lord and Savior, because these are the times we're living in right now. This is what we're dealing with right now. This is what we're witnessing right now with Joe Biden in office. But we're going to get through it together. And there's more I want to show you guys here. And speaking about, the stuff going on right now, there's also, you guys heard what's going on in Dallas, Texas with the drag queen, drag queen story hour stuff. They got in Dallas, Texas, they got it going on heavy. And of course, Texas is a Republican state, but the little blue area in Texas is what? Dallas, the city area. And of course, they had drag queen story hour in that little area there because, Democrats in a little area they got in Texas are going to push their narrative in that little small area. And hopefully they let it spread like a virus is what they're hoping for. But Texas is a lot smarter than that. The Patriots down there in the Lone Star State got it held down. But you guys know what's going on there. They had a situation where they had a drag queen story hour. They had a drag queen individual come and take a class of students to a adult strip club, adult bar. I don't know what it was. I just know it was adult bars, whatever. It was close. Regardless, kids shouldn't have been there. And he decided to have a little strip show for him and perform, and not strip like get naked, but he just danced and twerked and whatever. But just inappropriate behavior for young kids. It doesn't matter if it was somebody who's a drag queen or not. It could have been a woman, it could have been a man, whatever. It's just not right for children to witness that kind of stuff. But they had that kind of story hour, and I'm not going to play you the clip because I'm sure you guys out there have seen, people have seen it, and I've seen it, and not once is enough for me. And so you get the idea. I just told you what the guy did. That's what happened in the little area, but I want to show you what happened afterwards because there were some parents, thank goodness, this being Texas, that called the police and confronted him, and he got chased out the bar area and to his car, and he had some people with him. I guess I don't know if his little side dudes or whatever you call them, and they're with them trying to protect him or whatever. But it got a little hectic, but heated. But things were resolved and nothing got out of control. But I'll play that clip now and give you your thoughts. And please leave your comments in the comment section. Your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts on the whole situation.
For little children? Do you like dancing for little children? You don't think that's disgusting? Dancing around for little children?
Away from me.
Don't you think that's disgusting?
I need you to
Hey,
get away.
get the fuck away.
Hey, well, you can't just touch me. You don't think that's
You
disgusting?
touch me.
You don't
Your
think
mom's a
that's
bitch.
disgusting?
Go
You
on.
don't think that's disgusting? Dancing for little children. You should be ashamed of yourself dancing for little children. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I fuck him. Is he a child? No.
You guys dance with little children. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You're disgusting. Think about what you just did.
Mom's a whore.
Okay, that's fine, but you dance naked in front of little children. You did.
Do I stop you, bitch?
Dude, look at you.
Stop.
You dance in front of little
Stop it.
children. You dance in front of little children.
Wow. So you saw it got hectic. That's what happens when you're doing behavior like that in front of kids. You're going to have the, angry parents. You're going to have tiger moms, of course, coming out. You're going to have all kinds of people who do not accept that kind of behavior. Because it's not even about, like I said, it's not about people who are attacking LGBTQ or anti-gay. It's just parents who don't want their kids to be sexualized. That's all it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a parental right in America, I thought. I thought it was like a normal thought process, but we're in this day and time where it's like I said, like Revelations, where good is bad and bad is good. And like people like that we just saw there are, accepted, like their behavior is accepted to be in front of kids and stuff like that. And it's just getting out of hand. And, people aren't putting up with it, and people aren't going to put up with it, and they shouldn't have to. And, I'm glad to see they chased the guy out. It didn't get violent. You can get rid of people, like, had to handle that situation in a good way, because of course, if they would have backed, responded in any kind of way negative, it would have been, oh, you're transphobic, and oh my goodness, you're anti-LGBTQ, and you, and it's like, and it's all a game. They instantly play victim so they can flip it around, so they can continue to push their narrative, and it's all the process, and it's a repeated cycle. And it's time for these people to be exposed. I'm sorry. I'm anti drag queen story hour. A lot of these children books that are even being put out are pushing sexual, innuendos inside the books themselves. And look at me personally, I don't have kids, but everybody knows with me, man, I'm great with kids. I'm Uncle Chris to a lot of my friends' kids. I get along a lot with them. But when I'm hanging out with them and they're showing me like some of their cartoons they watch and the clips and the books they're reading, you can see the little narratives are pushing. And it's a shame that they're dealing with this as kids. They're not allowed to be kids anymore. That's a society we're living in where kids can't be kids. Like, at least when I was younger, growing up, I'm an 80s baby and growing up in America, there's plenty of cartoons to watch. And, not, now it's like they barely got cartoons, but they got like shows where the kids are like the adults and the adults are the childish ones, the immature ones, and the roles are reversed. And it's not a cartoon, but like reality. And it's like, it's just a whole different ball game, and it's affecting, and that's why you're seeing so much change in terms of where we're heading in society. We're getting like more to like a Sodom and Gomorrah type of setup, and a more satanic, demonic type of society we're heading to. And you can see where it's happening, man. They're taking God out of society. They're not letting children be children. It's just so much going on right now in society where it's affecting so much in a bad way. But hold on, guys, give me 1 second here. All right. So yeah, but there's that situation that happened in Texas, and there was also a situation that happened in, I want to say it was Chicago, Illinois, I believe, where they stopped having trans athletes allowed to go against women athletes. Thank goodness. Finally, that's a start. So hopefully we're seeing the backlash starting to come against this whole transgender situation movement thing that's happening. And like I said, I'm not against people like living their life and being who they want to be, but when you're affecting society in a negative way, I have an issue with that. Like, I don't have a problem with LGBT, gay people, LGBTQ, but I have a problem with Pride Month and pride parades where you're having like different things come by in the parade where people are grinding on each other and stuff like that. And like, again, it's young people there. There's people there that are elderly, that are people there that just don't want to see that stuff. Period. It's just regular everyday people walking around, and it's just like that should be allowed. For people to have that right as everyday citizens to walk and enjoy their life without being bombarded with some kind of narrative that's being pushed down their throat. And in America, we thought, for a long time, I thought we had an understanding, but it seems like recently we're getting to a point where pushing in a narrative is more important than people, enjoying, having freedom and being able to enjoy their life in this country. And we see some posts here. We got Beverly Armstrong. Beverly's been, the Democrats need to be replaced. Hope you Americans vote them out in November. Yes. That's the important thing. The red wave in November. That's what we need right now in America. That's what we need in society right now, is a red wave. That's why I even threw my hat in the ring for a period of time to try to run for office, to try to get in there, get elected, because I'm not a person who wants, like, I always criticize the left for playing victim. I'm not a person that's going to sit back and just complain about the Democratic Party and their policies. I'll run for office if need be, because I live in a country that was built like that gave me the ability. If you have an issue where you're living, well, run for office and help bring change in order to make it a better place, not just for yourself, but other citizens who live here with you. God bless America. And that's what I'm doing. So you guys might not see me run this midterm, but in 2024, you will be seeing me run for office. You have my word on that. And I'm going to help bring change with my fellow patriots out there who want to just make America great again. Bring it back, baby. As I say, man, there's nothing wrong with saying that, man. Make America great again. I totally understood when it first was said, and I understand it now. All right, so let me see here. And there's another clip I want to play you guys. Now we're talking about this transgender situation with the guy in Dallas and all that stuff like that. There was a documentary I watched over the weekend that I want everybody out there to check out. And it was Matt Walsh, and he did a documentary called What is a Woman? I highly recommend anybody out there go out there and see this documentary. It was a great documentary. That one in 2000 Mules are the two documentaries I've seen this year that has so many facts and evidence and information and substance to them that I had to let everybody out there who's on my social media know about them. So again, check out those documentaries. Domestic Studio 2000 Mules for those out there that want to know the truth about the stolen election, and for those out there that want to know the truth about this whole transgender situation that's going on, this whole agenda they're trying to push. What is a woman? Check out Matt Walsh. He's done his research. He's studied. He put out a lot of information. Check it out. And if you have those family members or friends out there who are the ones who are like hesitant to talk about what's going on with the transgender situation, might be against it a little bit, but they're still afraid to say anything because they're afraid to be labeled transphobic, show them this documentary. Let them watch this and let them have a pathway of being able to express themselves in public without feeling ashamed, knowing that there is an agenda that's being pushed onto the American public. And there's nothing wrong with exposing it and labeling it and putting it out there for others to know about. So this is a clip from that documentary. And this is where he was speaking to a professor in a college. And we all know about college professors that's going on nowadays in society. That's been going on. Unfortunately, they're the ones pushing these narratives the biggest. Unfortunately, college campus used to be the place to go for freedom of speech. Now it's the last place to go for freedom of speech. Now it's a place where they go to push their brainwash a lot, unfortunately. And this is with him having a conversation with the professor here. So check this out. Let me hear your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think.
I'm not even talking about social context. I'm just trying to start by getting to the truth,
Yeah, I mean, I'm really uncomfortable with that language of like getting to the truth. Again, in social life.
Why is that uncomfortable?
Because it sounds actually deeply transphobic to me. And if you keep probing, we're gonna stop the interview.
If I probe about what the truth is?
You keep invoking the word truth, which is condescending and rude. I'm saying to you...
How is the word truth condescending and rude?
Why don't you tell me what your truth is, and you're walking on 30 seconds more of thin ice before I get up.
So there you have it. Him talking the truth about gender was, making this guy saying, okay, you keep talking like that and I'm going to get up and leave. And this is the professor. This is supposed to be a guy that's there for conversation, there for debate, there for education. And he is trying to say, you are being almost like a threat to me right now. And you're invading my space with this truth of him just want to say, well, let's say, what's the truth about gender? Let's talk what we should learn in school. And that's the whole thing with the whole transphobic thing that's happening right now. I grew up in a society in the school system that taught me what a male and a female was at a very young age. Just growing up around, boys and girls, you kind of learn what the differences are as a kid, just naturally, just being outside, hanging out, so this is like common sense. And now at my age, 30 years old, as a grown man, people are trying to tell me, no, men can have babies and there's multiple genders and men can be women and women can be men if they just believe it. And I just can't participate in that. I'm sorry. Call me crazy, call me transphobic, call me whatever, anti-LGBTQY, LTS, whatever you want to say, but I'm going to be the one with the logic at the end of the day and know that men can have babies and women can, period. Sorry. Call me crazy. So, these are the people that we're dealing with, though. These people are the ones that are teaching your youth, teaching your kids in college, these people. And this is unfortunate. This is where society, and we're already seeing the negative effects of this behavior in society. This is why we have these young people now who are becoming adults, and we're seeing this first wave of this false agenda being pushed on people. And it wasn't there for a long time. It said, like, when I was growing up, this whole, multiple genders and non-binary, whatever stuff, that wasn't even a part of the conversation. But within my lifetime, within my, adulthood, I've seen a shift. in the conversation. And that's because the people that were generation below mine are now adults and they're pushing it. I'm a millennial, but I'm millennial X, right below Gen X. Is right that 1983, 1980 is the last Gen X. I'm millennial X. So the millennials in 86 or 87 and above, they're millennial Ys. And they show. I'm telling you, there's a difference. Me being near Gen X shows. I grew up outside, playing outside with my friends, going out, riding my bike around the neighborhood, seeing a bunch of bikes parked out in front of somebody's front yard, and that's knowing that's where all my friends were, hanging out. All my friends knew each other. My friends' parents knew each other, all that good stuff. We, no internet wasn't out yet. AOL eventually came out, but it was like 28.8K modem, slow, chat rooms only. I'm talking about HTML, websites, all that stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about. That I'm showing my age a little bit, but you guys know what I'm talking about. That's where I grew up. So I saw that America where you went out and you played and you boys got in fights and all that good stuff like that. And we learned and we got beat up, we got bruised and scrapes and scars and all, and learned the hard way sometimes, but we moved on. We got stronger. I grew up around America. I grew up around the society. Thank God that I did. And I don't say that in Lord's name in vain. I say that I honestly do. Glad I got to see that country, that America, and grow up in that society, because this youth below me didn't grow up in that society, and it's showing. That's why we're getting this little wimpy beta male. We're all winners, and let's be voice in Starbucks, and let's go drink a frappuccino. And I hear them talk all the time in Manhattan. I hear it. It drives me nuts. I'm like, where the heck do you guys come from? But it is what it is. They are here. They're adults. They're governing, some of them, and it is what it is. But we got to educate the youth, Gen Z below that, on true conservatism, and new internet's the way to do that. That's why they try and censor us, because the conservatives run the internet right now. And that's, so the youth, I'm hoping in the future, can kind of turn the tables a little bit around and switch things around and turn things back around the other way into a more logical, sensible, real world. Get out of liberal utopia where we're all winners and men can have babies and we all can have health care and everybody's equals and all that, whatever. And back into the real world where society should be in, and how we can build and grow from there. And that's in time will happen. So let me see. You got some more comments here, guys. Let me see what you guys have been saying here. I like this right here. Let me put this one here. We have Deneen. She said, why are they factophobic, scientific phobic, and straight phobic, etc.? Good question. Good question. I have no clue myself. That is something that I cannot figure it out. Like, it's common sense. It's like I said, it's logic. It's something that like I said earlier, it's like, I thought I was told past the whole gender thing when I was like a little kid, when I was like 5, 6 years old. I thought that was already done with the conversation. I didn't think at adulthood we'd be coming back to no. We've got to tell you, Chris, that you can have a baby. And I was like, what? Whoa, that was something you missed out when I was in my youth. Got to mention that. Got to run that by me in my kindergarten, my youthful years, when I was playing on the playground set, when I was in the sandbox. By the way, Chris, you and your guy friends can all have babies and all that stuff. You're all non-binary. As long as you identify, you can do it. That's all it takes. Man, wake up, people. All right, so let's see. We got some more here, though. I got some more content I want to share with you guys, and thank you guys for commenting and giving me your 2 cents, because this is really what's crazy, what's going on right now. And the last thing I kind of want to end on is just a rant on Joe Biden, because Sleepy Joe is just a trashy, crummy leader. I don't even want to call him a president. I want to call him a leader. I just want to call him an asterisk, because I feel like he's not a real president. There's evidence that he stole election, but they don't want to talk about it. But that's neither here or there. But he, is, regardless, the person that's around DC with Obama and Susan Rice and everybody else. And he's in power, and he is supposedly governing. And, let's go and see some of his clips of Sleepy Joe and kind of go from there.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping, traveling with him. That's we traveled 17,000 miles when I was vice president. I don't know that for a fact.
I want to say when I was Frank Campron,
Oh, yeah?
oh yeah,
I worked with a lot of honorable Republicans, very conservative Republicans over the year when I was a senator. But this is the
that we had to throw a little meme in there, but yeah, this is the government guy who's supposedly the president of the United States, who got more votes than any president in U.S. history, over 81 million votes. This guy supposedly received, the most popular president in American history. A guy can't complete a sentence. And this is when those out there with family members or friends who are on the left, and you're always getting debates and conversation with them. And a lot of them probably, I know, are probably ashamed to talk politics with you right now because of what's going on in the country. And even they have nothing they can say. They have no excuses, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. So they just kind of play the silent role. Like a meme I posted the other day. I never heard 81 million people so quiet in my life. So this is, I'm sure you guys are dealing with this, but bring up the topic right now. Might as well, with gas the way it is, taxes the way it is, inflation the way it is, you might as well just talk about it. It's affecting everybody. Every American's being affected by this: white, black, Hispanic, gay, straight, LGBTQ. They're all about diversity. So this is affecting everybody. So you can bring it up to them, and you can just bring up, what Biden, the fact that he is supposedly the most popular president in U.S. history. So you guys are getting what you received. You guys said this is the most popular president in American history. You voted him from supposedly the most popular president in American history. You got what you received, and he perhaps is governing worse than anybody I personally might have seen in my lifetime. Worse than any president I've ever seen in my lifetime. He's the worst president I've ever seen in my lifetime. I would say that wholeheartedly. You guys got this guy, and yet I don't hear a peep. And this is where we're at right now. But like I keep telling them, all this stuff is, frustrating. It's hard to deal with. But hey, no more mean tweets, right? No more mean tweets. No more Trump mean tweets. No more Trump mean tweets. You gotta look at the bright side. We got some more comments here I want to see. At Layla. She says, I feel the devil is running our White House. He stopped funding for school lunches for poor kids in the school and doesn't support transgender policies. And that is true. I do feel Satan is definitely at work right now in this country. And it's definitely showing with the Biden administration pushing the narrative the way he is. And we got Heidi, I'm sorry, this is Ford, for Ford's sake. TV, they are screwing us, not growing us. Autocorrect. You guys know I'm cursed, but yep. Yep. And this one right here, I want to play. This is important right here. I want to hear what Debbie said again. Trump warned us, and now here we are. Yes, he definitely did. And there's a clip I couldn't find, and I want to play here on my podcast for you guys. And it was Trump talking about the Biden administration and gas prices going to be skyrocketing the way they were, and inflation being the way it was. And he said during his speech, and he said, if he gets in office, this is what's going to happen. He's going to bring this. And then, there's also, and I'm like, and people thought he was such a nut job back then for saying that. And now look where we're at. And again, Trump has done this in the past and in other occasions, prophetic moments where he's said something that's going to happen down the line, and this occurred. When it comes to politics, I mean, Trump, hate him or love him, man, he's no dummy, and he's definitely called a spade on this one when it comes to Sleepy Joe Biden. And we have, we got somebody on the left here, I believe. I don't know, maybe not, maybe not. Who knows? I'm not saying you're a leftist, but you did make a comment here. It's interesting. We have Sade. Hold on. Says Trump was friends with Epstein for 30 years. And yeah, he was. And if you know that Epstein was at a party that Trump had in Mar-a-Lago in the early mid 80s and did something foolish there, try to hit on a young girl there or something. Trump heard about it and immediately kicked him out and never was friends with him ever again. And he never flew out to Epstein Island like your boy, like if you're on the left, your boy Bill Clinton did a few times. So, Trump being a multi-billionaire in New York, you're going to deal with establishment types. It's part of the game. It is what it is, unfortunately. But you being around bad people that are just a part of the spectrum that you're in, that's you can't stop that from happening. It is what it is. As long as you don't participate in it, is what I care about. And Trump. If Trump was a part of the establishment, and trust me, he was a part and did corrupt things on that level, on Bill Clinton's level, put it that way. Oh, trust me, the mainstream media would have it out front and center every single second of the day. We'd be hearing about it. But since Bill Clinton did it, you got to be like me and do your research and know Bill Clinton is a pedophile, and Bill Clinton cheated on his wife a bunch of times because she's a crazy witch, and she is actually a witch, by the way. But that's what and he also, helped in drug trafficking in the early 80s of crack cocaine from Colombia into the United States and through Arkansas when he was governor with his cokehead brother. Do your research and you know about that. I've done my research, and I researched Trump as well. So before I put my vote in for Trump, I did my research on him. And when I researched him, I saw, if anything, that he was more of a man on his word than any politician that I've seen who was running. And then he got in office and actually stuck to his word. And that was the first president that I voted for who did that. So that went a long way in my book. So hate it or love it, it is what it is. So let's see what else we got here. Yeah, better days ahead. 47 Trump 24. Andy, I hear you, brother. Better days ahead. You're right. Trump 2024 and right 2024. We're coming. The America first, man. America first patriots are coming. United we stand, divided we fall. United we stand, with Biden we fall. Andy, I hear you on that one, brother. You got that right. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Matthew again. Matthew's making some good comments here. I think Rand Paul and Alan West are the men. Yes, I agree. I have a lot of respect for both those individuals. I think they have a great future in the Republican Party ahead of them. And there's a couple more videos I want to play for you guys before it's all said and done. I hope you guys enjoy my podcast so far. It's been a while since I've done one, and I apologize for that, guys. You guys know I ran for office. We've been tuning in for my last couple of videos. My hands have been very full trying to get the signatures to get on the ballot and all that good stuff like that. Over 1,200 signatures was a huge process. Unfortunately, with me not being in Queens for up to a year, I was not able to run in this upcoming ballot because of the redistricting year with the gerrymandering from the Democratic Party. I know it's a lot of political jargon there, but I've learned it myself as I got along. But to make a long story short, I will be running in 2024. Please believe it. So let me go ahead and play you guys some more here. Let's play some more of some Biden here before it's all. I'm going to close this out with this podcast with me just mocking Joe Biden. I was taught by my father, who is Army Major veteran, not to mock the commander-in-chief, who's the president of the United States, the highest ranked military officer in the country. But since I don't consider Joe Biden a real president, and I have proof that he's not, I mock him all the time. So I'm going to mock him until the day he's gone, either be by impeachment or being removed out of office or him collapsing or whatever. Not to wish that on anybody, but I mean, to be honest, I mean, the guy can barely even stand anymore. But either here or there. Let's play the clip of Ultra MAGA. That's when the little Ultra MAGA moment here with Joe Biden.
I worked with a lot of honorable Republicans, very conservative Republicans over the year when I was a senator. But this is the MAGA gang. This is the MAGA crowd. I really mean it. They have a fundamentally different view of the role of government and who should pay what.
MAGA gang. We're the MAGA crew. We're deplorable MAGA gang, MAGA crew, Ultra MAGA, all day, every day. Whatever you want to label, put it on there. It's all good. As long as you call me an American, that's all that matters to me. America first. You know what I mean? God bless the United States of America. That's what counts. And let me hear what some of you guys have to say in the comment section here. Whoop, sorry about that. Lost the comments, but yeah, this is what we're dealing with. Even G. Maxwell trial, MAGAs. Trump was quoted. Hey, we got one here. This is you guys already know. Fenton Mully. Alpha males are back all day, every day. You already know. America first. That G.I. Joe America. That Rambo America. That Rocky America. That America. That's America I grew up on. We need to bring that back. Impeach Biden. Yeah, I hear that. Oh. Let me see. Layla, he hates us. Talking about Joe Biden. Yes, he definitely does, because he is a globalist freaking puppet, his shield. And let's go here. All right, there's another clip I want to play for you guys now. And this next clip is just a comparison. I want to close out my podcast today with a discussion of comparison. I mentioned Joe Biden and I mentioned the comparison and all that stuff like that. But there's something I want to speak about, and just one thing, just talk about comparison and mention it. But I just want you guys to really just see it, and just to the two presidents that, in my opinion, that in my lifetime that were great leaders, great presidents. That one I didn't get to witness politically witness, but I got to witness by how great the country was, and I got to see the benefits as a child when he was president. And I was with Ronald Reagan, and the other clip I want to show you is comparison with Trump and Biden. So it's going to be Reagan Biden comparison, and with that one's going to be like a little comedic kind of way, because with Reagan, he had that pass of being an actor, so he had that ability to have a stage presence, be able to gift the gab and get on the microphone and kind of light up a crowd and everything like that. So it shows a clip of him telling a joke and Biden telling the same joke in current times, and you guys can kind of figure out the rest from there. But I'm going to start out with that one. Remember, you leave your comments in the comment section. Hear your thoughts.
My Coast Guard aides have been excellent. One of them taught me that, and I quote, "The Coast Guard is that hard nucleus about which the Navy forms in time of war."
I can only assume that you will enjoy educating your family about how the Coast Guard is, quote, "the hard nucleus around the Navy forms in times of war." You're a really dull class.
Well, there you have it, folks. Anybody else waiting for that punchline from Joe Biden? Like, where is the punchline? Is this a joke? What is this? Are you being realistic? What is going on here? Like, I don't get it. Like, that's the current commander in chief right now, is that guy who can't even tell a proper joke. And this guy, remember, most popular president in American history, not Ronald Reagan, who you just saw, who was very charismatic, who could tell a great joke, who could have great foreign policy plans and everything like that. You saw how they said no, not him, not him, not John F. Kennedy, not Trump. The most popular president in American history was Joe Biden. They couldn't even tell a good lie with that. I mean, they could at least tell a better lie by putting somebody else in there other than him to say this is the most popular president in American history. Not a guy that is, so much negative past from his, wasn't a serious candidate for the Democrats. When I was younger, when I was a Democrat, when I was younger and naive, and I was voting Democrat at the time, and I knew Joe Biden was a joke of the party. Like, he would go out there and was a guy who would know who would put his foot in his mouth, say something stupid in a debate stage eventually and get kicked off and be gone. And he swept under the rug, and they moved on. Now they're trying to say that this guy at an older age, now that he's elderly and looks like dementia, now is the moment where he's the most popular president in American history, not when he was younger and he was pro segregation and didn't want his kids to go to the school in the jungle with black kids. But that's oh boy, yeah, Joe Biden, most popular president. Okay, give me a freaking break, guys. Now, okay, yep. Let me get some more comments from you guys real quick before I move on. I want to play you guys the last clip after this. We have Amy saying, "I'm embarrassed for him." Yeah, so am I, Amy. It is an embarrassment. And yep, and we got Debbie. Joe Biden is an empty suit. I agree with you, Debbie. Yeah, he's definitely an empty suit. Definitely an empty suit. And that's why I say the real person who's governing is Obama. And he's been wanting to govern since he's been out of office and Trump got in there. And he's been trying to take Trump's credit for all the great accomplishments that Trump received. And then when Trump was out of office, or when the COVID happened and the economy slowed down, he backed away in the shadows again. And then he popped back out when Biden got in office, when they stole the election. And now he's governing again. I've been watching Obama since the moment Trump got in office. I knew and Hillary was spying on Trump and Trump Towers with the New York Times reporting on it, and then took the article down to say, I was watching every single bit of that from day one because I know how the globalists are. Because I was the guy, I'm Mr. Conspiracy Theorist when I was younger. So I've been watching these globalists for a long time. And when I had a guy who was running for president, Donald Trump, talking about he was going to go after these globalists if he got in office, he got my attention. And when he got in office, he actually went after them. He got me on board. And this is where you see me here today. It's because I am here, I'm fighting for my country like a true leader led me to do. My commander in chief led me to stand up for my country. And that's what a true commander in chief does. He leads his citizens to stand up and fight for their country as well. And he is a definition of that. And this is what I'm out here doing today. So, and a lot of you Americans out there are doing as well. I'm not going to take claim for myself. A lot of Americans, you guys are helping me. Brandon Strock, shut my boy Brandon Strock walk away. Without him, I wouldn't have done my first video. So I can go, list goes on and on of patriots that have out there who scraped and did what they had to do. And we're all doing this. United we stand, divided we fall. And this is what we've been getting done. Why didn't Trump put Heidi? Why didn't Trump put Hillary in jail? Good question, Heidi. Good question. I wonder that myself. That's something I've done question, but I honestly feel when it comes to Hillary, as you see what right now what's going on with Hillary, with Trump going after her, with all the data he has and taking her to court, how she's be able to get a jury with just her peers that she personally knows to, say, give her guilty or not guilty. She is, I hate to say too big to fail because I hate that terminology. I hate that term. But if there's anybody who's too big to fail, she's showing she's up on that echelon. Where if you come after her with data, with facts, information, she's put a court in position to find her not guilty. I personally, I'll have to be on that level to have that kind of power to figure out how to combat something like that. Because the only thing I could feel like we go old school America and say this woman's committing treason, and we just yoke her up and do it the old fashioned way. You guys know what I'm talking about, but that's why they got done in America back in the day, and it seemed to work pretty good for them. And maybe it's time for us to go back in that kind of way, shape, or form. And trust me, if we were there, a leader like Trump would have used that power to get that done. And we don't have that kind of ability, so I don't know how he can take a woman like that down. She is like I said, the Clinton crime wave. Not to mention, if you got the Clintons, a lot of bodies end up popping up once they go after the Clintons. So I'm sure Trump had that in mind too as well. I'm not saying that intimidated him, but that's something to always keep in, as a factor in your mind as well when it comes to that situation. But let me play you guys the last clip I want to play. And this is a little bit longer clip, only 2 minutes, but it's only longer for a short clip. But this is the clip that's going to compare Trump with Biden. And I've shared a clip online and got a lot of attention. Some of you patriots out there who follow me, who are watching now, probably remember this one. But I just want to play it again to get everybody's attention and, to give you get your 2 cents. And guys, just give me what your thoughts on it. And and it's just tell me what you think. Just no talking. It's just music in the background, but showing clips from both administrations. Time in office. Trump 4 years. Biden feels like it's been 20, but we still got another 2 left. But there's been plenty of negative stuff going on where it feels like it's been 20. But this is the clip here. But leave your comments in the comment section. Let me hear your 2 cents.
How the heck did we go from this? To this.
Fair question to ask. How do we get to point A to point B? And you saw just in the clip, you know what I mean? Just in that short period of time, just how much of a difference happened. You know, it's unfortunate where we're at as a country right now. And people I'm talking to, a lot of friends, a lot of family members, not really, you know, well, families, a lot of my family, unfortunately, Democrats, there's a couple, but there's a lot of friends, especially here in New York, who are very concerned, very worried about their future. And a lot of people I personally know here in New York are left, went down to Florida, Georgia, Carolinas, got the heck out of New York. Said, Chris, man, join us, get out of there. The only reason why I haven't left because I love my country. And not just to the point where I just love where I grew up and what I've seen. I love the entire country. I'm in New York. I lived here. I didn't want to, you know, my plan was to leave. If they make it tough for me, I'm not going to run away. I'm going to fight if I can. And I can. There's opportunity for me to fight, and it's what opportunity my country has given me, and that is, you know, like to run for office. So until I run for office and give it my all, I can't feel comfortable with leaving New York. You know, I just can't do it. I'd rather do that first and then have all my questions answered before I come to that decision. And that's what I'm going to do. And this is what we're going to get done. And I have a game plan, a strategy that I'm going to implement. And you guys are going to see, as that's why I wanted to do this podcast, to kind of catch up with everybody. Say, hey, I'm still out here. I'm still grinding. I'm sorry I was low key lately. Just me running, it brought me to this situation. But now I'm in the state where it's time for me to make my next step, make my next move. I can see it a little more clear now that the political step is put to the side for the moment. And it's back to the CRA, the grassroots. And I got the game plans. So stay tuned and check it out. There'll be a lot of videos coming up soon. You guys know, you know, it's either now or never. So like always, hope you guys enjoyed the content. Oh, hold on. Before I leave, let me come to your comments before I leave, guys. I apologize. Before I say my final goodbye. I see you guys are commenting here in the section quite a bit. Wow, you guys are really rocking and rolling here. And I know if I can read, but I don't know if I can read that fast. God chose President Trump because Beverly said God chose President Trump because he saw the good in him. Amen, Beverly. Yes, he definitely did. He used Trump as a vessel. And I do. And Trump, hate it or love it, he did fulfill prophecy, making Jerusalem the capital of Israel. That's biblical there. You know, people like, you know, you can't say that Trump didn't use God to get things done, and he definitely did. And also to expose a lot out there that needed to be exposed to the public, that people that did research or the conspiracy theorists out there might have known about, but the public didn't know about. Now they know. A lot of people who didn't know information 2-3 years ago know it now. And now, unfortunately, some people had to learn the hard way when it comes to Biden and the Democratic Party. They had to steal an election, put him in there to see the hard way. Now that he's in power, now do you get it? Now do you see this guy is an enemy to you, to your family, to your friends, to your culture, to your society? Not Trump. But you got to learn the hard way. Unfortunately, not everybody, but it is what it is. Read the election, how they stole it, and this is what they portrayed as an Asian guy, despite the Asian community. You know what's going on with. All right, and then we have a gentleman here, Byron, as an Asian guy, despite stop Asian hate. The Asian community need to know what's going on with the media and the government. You need to someone like Lily Tang running for Congress in New Hampshire. Hey, all right, put them out there. Put them out there. Anybody got the cans out there? Let them know who they are. If you got America First candidates anywhere in the country, feel free to leave them in the comment section. Put them out there. Everybody's being done in God's time. Trust God. Amen. Trump 2020 with that. And I'm going to leave on that note. And like always, guys, remember, please like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed the content. There's more content coming your way. And, you know, I'm not going to stop, man, until my heart stops. And like always, God bless everybody out there listening. And may God bless the United States of America. Peace out.